Good day, my fellow Nigerians. This is the new Nigerian Principle Part 2. In this conversation, I want to talk about acceptance of every other person you see. Now, it's a known fact that Nigeria is made up of different tribes, different states. There are 36 states, okay, 37, because I think Abuja too. Now, when you see somebody from another state or someone who speaks another language different from yours, he's not your enemy. He is not your enemy. He's a fellow Nigerian that desires the best for himself. He's a human being like you. So I need us to change that perspective of thinking that every person who's not from our tribe is our enemy. No. You see, man has come out from the bush. It was during the savage era that if you're a man or if you're a person, you move to the next tribe or the next tribe finds you in their forest. They will kill you that day because as far as they are concerned, you are a spy, you are a threat, you are a this, you are a that. In fact, you came here to kill them. And the mere act of seeing you around their territory can spark a war. That was because man was still very ignorant then and lacked any modern facility. So he knows nothing about other tribes. So seeing something he doesn't know scares the hell out of him. We're in the modern world where social media is here. At the click of your button, you can make friends with somebody in China, Japan, Russia, America, Europe, thousands of miles from your house, and you guys will become very good, deep, excellent, wonderful friends. If you can go to social media and seek for likes, followers from people you don't know, but the one that you are seeing in front of you is seen like your enemy, then something is wrong somewhere. So I think we need to change this perspective. We need to start looking at every other Nigerian like a part of us, like a we thing. Yes, we're all one, irrespective of our difference in tongue, ways of life, and every other thing. We need to begin to see each other as friends and help to build each other, not to cast each other down. Because one thing I've come to observe is that most times you meet any Nigerian and he asks you, where are you from? You say, I'm from here. Those people, they do like this. Those people, they do that. Especially when it's a woman. If you want to condemn somebody, if you want to condemn something, just give woman that task. That thing that they say when you want to kill a dog, you call it a bad name. Make woman call somebody bad name, you know how far. They will just gossip and say all manner of things. Even in our religious systems, when you meet somebody, he's not interested in, are you a Christian? Or is asked, which church did they go? Oh, that church, then they wear trousers. And at that moment, the sins of your institution, the sins of your system is cast upon your head and you are now the devil. There are some people that when you meet them, the moment you mention where you're from, they have 1,001 negative things to say about you. I'm a living witness to that. I'm from Ebima, Abachiki in Ebima. And lately I started asking myself one question. Why do people from Oba hate us so much? Because all my life, I've never met a man or a person from Oba that doesn't have a negative talk to tell me about Ebima people. All the talk is negative, A to Z. So I know I've asked this question one day. I asked my sister, because my sister, three of my sisters stayed in Omok, they schooled in Omok. So I said, why do these people always say negative things? We from Omoko to my place is 15 minutes drive. It's not up to 20 kilometers. Why? And I believe our people do the same. Yes. In fact, last year when I traveled to my village, one day I was in a conversation with one of my cousins, one of my town's guy. He lives opposite me. And we were just talking. He lives in Omoko. At the point, he now mentioned that Omoko people don't like us. And I'm like, why? I now brought up the issue. I was like, I wanted to inquire further. He said, no. He said he doesn't know. It was only one man that I met whom I was massaging. So one day he started telling me stories. He started telling me stories of how our people and their people fought a lot of wars. And he said, in those days, in the 70s, when our people came to Omoku to school, our people were mostly carrying knife. They like to use knife. You look for his trouble, he will use knife and remove your neck, butcher you and all that. He said a lot of stories. And I'm like, is this the reason why? So there's another story I've heard about in the past, in ancient time, when Ebema and Omoko and all that fought several wars, whether they said our people now used to do one jazz and do one dog. The dog now went where they hit their king. The dog went and exposed their king because the dog drowned and buried him and covered it with leaves and all that. So the dog went and sniffed him out. And I said that's one of the reasons dogs are not permitted in Omoko, whether female dog or dogs in general. But these are things that happened maybe decades ago, even before the Nigerian Civil War, or maybe in the 18th century, I don't know. And today, it's still causing problems between us. So the point I'm trying to make is that we're not enemies. If you're a Christian, maybe the system of Christianity you practice is different from the person you meet on the road. He's not your enemy. If you're a Christian and you see a Muslim, he's not your enemy. If you're a Muslim, you see a Christian, he's not your enemy. And if you're practicing religion, you see a pagan, someone who doesn't go to church or mosque or whatever, maybe he goes to temple. Because I think I've seen Hare Krishna stuffs around Port Harcourt a little. And some of the Hindu temple. I heard Buddhism is in Lagos. They're not your enemies. They are human beings like you. You have to tolerate them. Okay? So, please, let us see each other like brothers. We're brothers. We're friends. We're associates. Because a broom is more difficult to break than a single broom. A bunch of broom is more difficult to break than than a single broom. A single stick. We're a great nation. But combined together, we can create marvelous. Why? Because when two people come together, there's a third force that is born out of that union. And that third force is usually more powerful than the individual two. So, as a nation of diverse people, diverse culture, diverse understanding, diverse literatures, diverse experience about life, we have a lot that we can bring to the table and begin to build our nation with as friends, not as enemies. Not this tribe fighting this tribe. There are so many tribes I know of. I don't want to mention. Let it not be like I'm castigating anybody. But there are certain tribes I know of that from the time of my childhood till today, all I hear about them is war. It's either they are fighting this person, or they are fighting this person, or they are fighting this tribe, or they are fighting this tribe, and these are all neighbors. In the past 15, 20 years, everywhere in Nigeria has turned upside down. Violence everywhere, gun carriers, cultism has gone to an astronomical level. In all, we're blaming the politicians, even when we have our own roles to play. In fact, my own village now, the last time I went to the village, I could not go out. For the 6 days I spent in the village, I did not. The only times I went out was in the afternoon. I went and bought something, came back, maybe my biscuit and milk to drink my tea or one thing. These were the only times I went out. I did not go to visit any of my uncle. Why? Koto boys, they shoot gun. A few days to the day I went to the village, they told me that they cut off two people's neck. I don't know what is happening. Cultism. In those days, in the 2000, early 1999, when cultism was in the universe, there was nothing like cultism in the villages. The villages were calm, peaceful. Even in some schools, it's only in some schools that you will hear they went to look for this guy, they didn't see him, they caught his roommate or kill his roommate or kill his girlfriend. But even when that is done, it is frowned upon by the all cultists. But this one in the village, then come find you, they then go shoot somebody for your house, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister, even your cousin. Now, this is somebody who knows you, killing you for a crime you did not commit. Because as it happens in most of my places, when anything happens, bam, everybody will take off because maybe your cousin belongs to one of the frats. And if they look for him, they don't see, they will come and blow you. So, these things are not helping our nation. Today, everybody is talking security. When a person feels insecure in the presence of the next person, it escalates. As long as you're not feeling secure with the next person, chances are you will see that person like your enemy. And chances are you will take negative actions against that person. And that is what has landed us in this position of where we have cultism and terrorist organizations and grandiloquent organizations that we don't understand all over everywhere. So these things need to be reduced, and we have a role to play. We have a serious role to play. I remember when we were kids, in fact, we didn't used to lock our back door because the assumption was we didn't used to lock the front door because the assumption was thieves only come through the back door, the kitchen door of your house. So that was the one we locked. We used to lock. Now, then Nigeria was relatively safe. Today, even in a compound you're living with your siblings, with your neighbors, with your friends and your associates, can you keep your money, maybe one bundle of money, you drop it now, then you go and come back and that money is complete. So when we accuse whatever organization or people we're accusing of militancy, of all the negative vices, it is still in us because our next door neighbor doesn't feel safe with us. So please, let us understand that not because we're Nigerians, but because we're individuals living in a world that has gone global, where your effort can transform the whole globe. So it is not really about Nigeria, it's about you and your leadership your leadership work while on this earth. Your leadership work, WALK, while you are on this earth. So, be nice to everybody. Understand people. See them as your brother. See them as your sister. See them as a friend. Don't see them as an enemy. And let the world be a better place. Because humanity today stands at the brink of self-extinction or self-annihilation if the right step is not taken. Let us all take those steps in our own little ways. Because in our only 2 ways, we can transform the economy. We can transform Nigeria to be better. Okay? I believe in Nigeria, and I like you to also believe in Nigeria. I like you to believe that you can blossom the best within you, and that best can transform society in one little way. All things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small. It doesn't mean that you do a very big thing or invent one technology. No. In your own little way, you can do things that are great, because greatness sometimes can be defined as your ability to create positive impact in the lives of people you've never met or people you will never meet. If your reputation, your goodness, your kindness, your integrity precedes you, travels afar and transforms people, it makes you a great man. So I believe in Nigeria, okay? And let's collectively believe in Nigeria. Let's build a strong force because we can transform Nigeria. Thank you.